Hello, I'm Elisa Zhang, and I am a physician as well as a life and money coach. So one mistake that I see lots of people making, including physicians, is just being a little too comfortable with debt. So there are times when debt can be a really good thing and can be really helpful. Like if you are trying to buy a home for yourself or an investment property, then getting a mortgage in order to buy that property, can really help you either get into your primary residence or get into real estate investing. So there are lots of ways that debt can be very positive. When debt is not so good is that when you're using it for consumer spending, things that don't grow in value or don't have a chance in becoming something more. So if you're borrowing to build a business, if you're borrowing to invest in real estate, if you're borrowing for those type of reasons, or even investing yourself, where afterwards you will be able to earn more, like investing in your education, investing in courses, like those are all reasonable reasons to take on debt. But what's not so reasonable reason to take on debt is because you want to go on a luxury vacation, or you're just essentially buying things that you don't necessarily need. And what need is obviously subjective, but a lot of people think that they, quote, need more than what you really need, right? We need food to eat to bring us nutrition. We need clothing, but we don't even need new clothing, right? We could go to thrift stores and Salvation Army and buy used clothing. We need a roof over our head, but we don't necessarily need to live in a 5-bedroom, 3-bath house in the suburbs, right? Depending on your situation, you may have to decide, make decisions in order to live within your means so that you aren't constantly going into debt just for consumer spending. Sometimes there can be issues where we're going into debt in order to, help someone that we really love. Like if we have a parent who has some medical problem and doesn't have long-term care insurance and can't afford a skilled nursing facility, then it's possible that we may take out debt in order to help a parent. And that is a personal choice. But know that if you're going to take out that debt because you don't have the funds to pay for it otherwise, that might mean cutting back on some of your lifestyle in order to kind of take out the least amount that you need in order to help that loved one. I also see, physicians, and not just physicians, but lots of people where when they think about whether they can afford something, they're really just looking at the payment. Buying a car and looking, well, I can pay, $600 a month, as opposed to looking at the car as that's a $60,000 car, and I could buy a $30,000 car that's still going to get me from point A to point B in relative comfort, or even less than 30,000, right? I mean, if you buy, a used Honda Civic, you can, even in this market right now where cars are atrocious, you can still probably get a car that is reliable that can get you from point A to point B for less than $30,000. And I'm not saying that, if you love cars and you love driving and that's where you really want to spend that money, then you can go and do it, but you really just want to pay attention to what you're going into debt for. And I think one of the reasons physicians might be more apt to take out debt is because we've had to do so much of that for our education, and we've taken out such large sums of debt that we kind of get desensitized to having that debt. And I've seen it both ways. I've seen physicians who absolutely hate debt, so they want to get out of debt and they never want to get in, and some who are just very comfortable with debt. And I think there are times where it's wise to use debt, but you don't want to borrow just for lifestyle reasons. Because if you do, then at some point it's going to bite you, and there are going to be negative consequences. So that's this video for this week. I'm Elisa Zhang of Grow Your Wealthy Mindset. You can always contact me through my website, growyourwealthymindset.com. I also now have a podcast, the Grow Your Wealthy Mindset podcast, where if you like to listen in your car or on the go, that might be a better medium for you than these YouTube videos. So I encourage you to check that out. Thank you.